So good evening, everybody. I'm standing in for the mayor today. This is work session for today, April 17th, 2021. The items that we have are above the line. So Diana, I think that all three are yours. So
they are. I'll go through them real briefly. The amendment to Chapter 30. Apparently, what the Finance Department has been doing is reviewing a lot of our general provisions, and this provision on petty cash fund hasn't been revised since 1984, and they're not really doing what the old provisions were, so they're updating it. They're going to have 3 sites, and I don't know whether I've got those 3. One is for the Community Development and Building Department. One of them is for Public Works, Stormwater, and Recreation, and the other one is for Finance. And so all this does is update the establishment of those and the how they're to be used. So if you have any questions on that, I don't think Harlita's here or Matt's here to answer any of those, but that's essentially what it is. It's kind of a housekeeping thing. The second one, appropriations amendment, we do these from time to time. And I'm going to kind of go in reverse order of the way they're on, well, sort of in reverse order of the way they're in here. One of them is a capital improvement fund. There's expenditures for our portion of the installing the electric vehicle charging stations. And there's also a portion of it which would cover some office furniture that we put in place after the city building remodel. And then going with that is an expenditure from environmental awareness, where we said that we would kick in to help them with the cost of the electrical charging stations and also LED light retrofitting of the city buildings. One of the other changes has to do with the law enforcement trust fund, where we pulled out the federal funds and put it into a separate fund, and that's to cover that change. And then the other in the general fund is essentially some spend down of, well, it's a transfer to help on the spending down of our debt. And then also dealing with some funds that really are not necessary to be changed, because they're essentially bonds that are paid within 1 year. And then the next year they just do a new bond. So it's not really much transfer situation in there interim. So that's a second one. So if there's any questions about that, again, later, Matt's not here. Maybe Don can answer them if you have any. And the last one is a routine tax appointment review appointments. That's the council that meets yearly to review all of our tax incentive TIFs and different types of abatements that the county reviews. And generally the appointment is done every year, and it's generally the EDC chair, Paul, and myself, the liaison to the Economic Development Commission. So pretty routine things.
So that covers all of the work session items. Does anybody have any questions or additions or anything for Diana or Mr. Jones? If not, Reggie, you have a question?
No, I'm just, well, on the third, I'm just trying to be sure the comment on the designation of the 2 individuals. Are those names already pre-identified?
It's generally been the people holding those 2 positions. And for the last several years, since I've been the liaison to this, and Paul's been the EDC, it's generally been us every year.
Any other questions? Okay, if we don't have any other question, then we can end the work session, and then we got 10 minutes before the meeting begin. Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to City of Forest Park Council Meeting number 1375, May 17, 2021. Councilwoman Clark, can you do the pledge for us, please?
Yes, I can. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you. Item 1 is roll call.
Brown,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Herbie,
Here,
Holt,
Here.
Johnson, Moore,
Here.
Sylvester.
Here.
Is there Councilwoman Herbie?
I would move to excuse the Mayor Johnson, please.
Is
Second.
there a second? It's been motion and second that the mayor be excused. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It has been approved that the mayor is absent today. You should have received your minutes in your packet and hopefully read them. Are there any corrections or changes from May 3rd in your minutes? If none, no correction or changes, I guess the minutes will stand approved as written. Item 3, presentation. The business of the month is Dr. James Katz DDS. Paul, I guess that's your item.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, we're very happy to recognize a long-term member of our business community tonight, Dr. James Katz, deep member of our Northland Boulevard Business District for a number of years. He was born in New York, but actually moved to Greater Cincinnati very early with his family. He graduated from Woodward High School and later attended the University of Cincinnati, where he got his undergraduate degree. He earned his DDS degree in 1967 from the Ohio State University, and soon thereafter opened up a dental office on Northland Boulevard. In 1980, he made the substantial investment to build his own building on Northland Boulevard, moving his practice into that facility. And in the years since, Dr. Katz and his team have provided Forest Park families with the very best in dental care. Equally important, he has volunteered for a number of community organizations and activities over the years. He even served as on the Forest Park Planning Commission for a period of time. He's coached T-ball. He's just done a number of different activities and services to our community. He's been married for 55 years and he has 3 children and 2 grandchildren. And yes, he continues to see patients at his office on Northland Boulevard. And in recognition of his decades of service to our community, we wanted to recognize Dr. Katz with this award tonight. I think all of you know so much that this is kind of the basis of our business community, is people like Dr. Katz who come with us, stay in the community, build their business over the years, and literally stay with us for 30, 40, 50 years of time. So we're very pleased that we can recognize him with the award tonight.
Thank you. Congratulations to Dr. Katz, and Paul, I'm sure you will see that he will get his award. Item 5 is communication from the public. Mr. Jones, do you have any communication from the public?
No, we have received no notifications or inquiries or communications with regards to any items on tonight's agenda.
Thank you, but I would say to the citizens of Forest Park, this is your time to ask all the questions that that you need to know or you want to know about what's going on in the city or what's happening with the city. Or if you have any questions of, help or anything that you need, this would be your time, and you don't even have to show your face. You don't have to attend the meeting. Send the questions to the city manager and he will get the questions taken care of. So if you have any, feel free to do it, and you can do it anonymously. It doesn't matter, because a lot of people don't want to show their face, don't want to show up at the meeting, but this is the opportune time for you to ask those questions. Thank you. On to
Okay.
item 5, the reports of standing commission committees. Councilwoman Dr. Moore.
Thank you. I do not have a report at this time.
The mayor did not give me anything for you for next week. Do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, I do not. Thank you.
The next committee is the Human Resource Committee, which is my committee. We do have some openings on the boards and commissions. Beautification, if you look online, it is saying 0. But there are some openings on there. It has always been a standard of 7 people being on this particular board, on this commission, but we are allowed to have more than 7. So if you're interested in being on the Beautification Commission, by all means, do contact us or contact the city at 595-5200, and we will point you in the right direction. There are 2 openings that I saw on today for Charter Revision Committee. There are 2 vacancies there. Civil Service Commission, there's 1 there. Economic Development, when I looked online today, it said 0, but Diana, if I'm correct, there's 1 vacancy on.
I think there is one.
Okay, so I would say there's 1 vacancy on the Economic Development Commission. On the Environment Awareness Board of Directors, there are 2 vacant positions on that commission. Parks and Rec, there's still 1 vacancy on that. Planning Commission, we don't have any. The Stormwater Utility Board, we have 1. If anybody's interested, if you know of anybody that is interested, please have them contact the city at 513-595-5200. With that, that would conclude my report. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Counselor Holt, how many on beautification remaining?
Well, I think we can take up to another 3. This is what I was told. It says 0 now, but we can take up to an additional 3.
And if they get on that, they'll be right on time for the yard contest, won't they?
Yes, they will, which has been pushed out to later
hint.
June. Yes. Yeah, that would be perfect timing for that. The next committee is Law Committee, Councilman Brown.
I have no
Sorry.
committee report at this time, or no items to add to the agenda. I will say if the lawn judgment committee has been pushed out, would the cicadas interfere with any of that time period?
I'm sure they will.
I would say you would be judging who has the least amount of cicadas in their yard.
I am sure.
Right.
Are there any questions for Councilman Brown? The mayor did not give me anything for you for the next meeting. The next committee is Public Improvements and Facilities Committee, Councilman Sylvester.
Excuse me. Only thing to comment on a couple of things, but just to emphasize on the fall soccer registration. That'll begin on Tuesday, June 1st, and we'll end on Friday, July 16th. We got signups available for boys and girls age 4-13. And just to reemphasize on the picnic grove and shelters at the Central Park, Kemper Meadows Park, they're available for the renting, and that's from June 23rd through October the 31st. So that would conclude the comments of the report.
Are there any questions for Councilman Sylvester? The mayor did not give me anything for you. Do you have anything to add?
No, ma'am. I have no.
Okay. The next committee is Councilwoman Clark, Public Safety Committee.
Councilor Holt, police met with the police last week to go over the last remaining elements for the report that I've been working on for community policing. They've been doing a fabulous job. Was able to see and take pictures of their CALIA designation, which we're extraordinarily proud about. That was an international designation that that we received for some extraordinary work. And that has to be kept up every 2 years. So that meeting was last Friday. It was very good. We also have the safety fair, the 14th annual Kiwanis Safety Fair will be Saturday, this Saturday, May 22nd, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is at Kemper Heights. It is on Kemper Heights. I'm sorry, it is at Kemper Heights at 924 Waycross Road. And you will get free bike helmets. The first 50 kiddos that come get free bike helmets. There'll be a bike raffle. There'll be live music, fun activities for the children, water, snacks provided. And also, most importantly, COVID vaccines will be available on site. Lastly, the Minority Business Initiative gained 3 new business members 2 weeks ago. And we are coming up with some events and opportunities to have later in the summer to help amplify the voices of the minority and female businesses in our midst. That's all that I have.
Are there any questions for Councilwoman Clark? Councilwoman Clark, the mayor did not give me any agenda items for you. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, I will submit that the community policing report and be available to discuss it with you all.
Okay, thank you. The next committee is Ways and Means Committee. Councilwoman Herbie.
No Ways and Means Committee report, but I do want to report on some things happening with environmental awareness. 2 programs started in April, our large appliance collection program and our Reforesting Forest Park program. The best thing to do with the large appliance is to call Wright Gwynn, our Environmental Awareness Director, at 595-LAND and find out when there might be scheduled pickups in your area. The demand apparently is very high right now. The second one, the Reforesting Forest Park, response has been very positive. And because of the strong demand for magnolias, we are ordering extra magnolia trees. There are generally 4 trees, different types of trees available each year. So you can also go online at forestpark.org/environmental to also find out what those 4 options are. The third thing is there will be a community paper shredding event this fall. It's scheduled for Saturday, September 25th at Kemper Meadow Park. They will also coincide with the used tire collection event. Number 4, later on in the meeting, we're going to be talking about the electric vehicle charging stations that will be put up at the municipal building. And the Environmental Awareness has agreed to help assist the city with the installation of those, as well as with the installation of LED lighting in the municipal buildings. Number 5, I'm pleased to announce that the tree program to take down dead and dying trees is going to be expanded. And there will be another opportunity to register for that in August for September, October removals. In addition, the subsidy has been increased from $500 to $750 per house. That's a lifetime amount per house. So if you've had trees removed in the past, you will be able to access another $250 to take down dead and dying trees. It's also been increased because our Arborex, who is our consultant, has said that most of the trees that have not been removed have been much larger trees, which cost more money, and that may have been a deterrent for homeowners to take those down. So that may help homeowners, if they've not accessed the money before, to take down some of those larger trees. Also, the program is going to be expanded to help include taking down dead limbs. This is not a pruning. We don't want to make it, it's not a pruning to make things look beautiful. It is, there are dead and dying limbs in some trees that we are expanding so that you can also take out some dead and dying limbs from existing trees. So that would conclude my report.
Are there any questions for Councilwoman Herbie?
I just have a question. I don't know if there's an answer to it yet, but as a forever tree hugger, I know that we do that we provide trees and get those at a very low cost to folks, which is really great here. But there's no so if we're expanding the program and more trees are going to get taken down, is there not also a provision that says you have to perhaps replace an X amount number of trees that we take out? Or
we leave that up to the homeowner as to whether or not they want to replace them. But you're right, that program for putting in trees has been extraordinarily successful over the years that we've had it. I don't know, we're in the hundreds in terms of, I think, number of trees that have been replaced. And I would tell you, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but those trees, I have 2 of them in my backyard, and they're about 12 feet high, maybe. Those smaller trees could be harmed terribly by the cicadas. Mature trees, you will probably see some limb die off because of the cicadas. But if you have invested in some of those trees and they're small, I would strongly suggest that you find some fine mesh to put over the trees, put them over the canopy and over the trunk so that the cicadas cannot get access to those trees and destroy those trees.
do you think we could get right to do a little video on how to do that, or do like a little education for us so that we can
I can tell you, it is easier as a 2-man operation using tall poles.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. We gotta make sure people know how to drape their trees.
I think there is possibly something online that you can access. I know he sent out a blast through the email or the e-news talking about a site which tells you about wrapping your trees. And I don't know whether it goes into I didn't access it to find out how to do it. And I don't know whether the site goes into how to go about doing it, but yeah, tall poles and 2 people, 2 or more people.
Are there any more questions for Councilwoman Herbie? If not, Councilwoman Herbie, the mayor did not leave anything, any items, agenda items for you. Do you have anything to add?
No, but I think there's probably something coming down the pike because we have a Ways and Means Committee meeting, I think, before our next council meeting. So there may be something on the agenda in 2 weeks or on the work session in that.
Okay.
We may have a work session before the council meeting, so it may be.
The next committee, item G, is Intergovernmental Relations and Communication Committee, and that is the mayor's committee. He did not give me a report on that. So if you have any questions for the mayor, I suggest you send him an email, and he will be able to answer your questions better than I will, since he did not leave anything and he did not give me any items to add to the agenda for next time. Item 6 is the mayor's report. Mayor Johnson did not leave any report for me, but I'll say as Vice Mayor, John Matarese has suggested that when you get your COVID, when you take both of your shots, take a picture of your card, both front and back, and keep that. Have your card laminated. Leave your card at home and just have it on your phone, have the picture on your phone. He suggested maybe you leave it with your passport, your social security card, wherever you keep them. And there were some places, I didn't get to write them all down. There are some places that will laminate the cards for you for free. So And that will conclude the Vice Mayor's report. The next item on the agenda is item 7, City Manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be back. I don't have a lot on my agenda today. You guys have taken a lot of my thunder here with a lot of the environmental stuff, which is going on this summer. But one of the things that we're spending a lot of time on right now, number one today is tax day. So May 17th, if you haven't filed your taxes, don't forget to do that. You have plenty of time. Bring up your city taxes and drop them in the drop box. And of course, even if you miss today, our tax office will be open, continue to be open. We are moving the tax office at the end of the month back into their new offices here at City Hall. They're currently located at the senior center where there's more room and it's able to handle bigger crowds. Most of you are probably aware that the governor removed or reduced or eliminated some of the pandemic and COVID restrictions. Those things were lifted on June 2nd, effective June 2nd. So we are looking at proceeding and reopening City Hall and some of the other buildings. And we're putting together plans to do that. And we'll let the public and City Council know as those proceed. And hopefully we'll be back to as close to normal as we can be. Again, remember, even though you're not required to wear a mask, if you're vaccinated, I think that's the new mantra, but it surely doesn't hurt, and particularly with large crowds. So we'll be putting together some plans to reopen the senior center and the City Hall as we move forward into the summer. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer any of those.
I have a question for you. It's not regarding that. The new building that they're building on Northland, am I to understand that that's going to be a dollar store?
That is a Dollar General store, yes. Now, with regards to that, I spoke with the mayor today, and he wanted to announce as well that we're going to call a special session, a special council meeting at the next Monday, and we're going to ask for it'll be specifically to talk about the acquisition of property, but we'll be talking about property that that would be a process that would allow us to acquire properties and have that in place going forward. Not just individual specific properties, but a policy and procedure and an authorization to move forward. So we'd like to talk to City Council about that. And it will probably be an executive session with regard, because we'll be talking about acquisition of real estate. We'll be getting more information to you prior to that meeting, but just so you can plan, the plan is right now to have a special discussion of that at a special meeting next Monday.
Thank you. I think it's something that's past due, because we're gonna end up being, instead of Forest Park, we're gonna be the dollar store capital, because on every main thoroughfare there's a dollar store, and
And next is a Save-A-Lot.
it's just okay. Moving right along. The next item 8 is other reports. The law director, Mr. Wycroft.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have nothing to report tonight, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions for?
Just a quick question. Did we finish the feral cat thing? Because they're in breeding season, and it's like cicada cats.
I recall there was one neighbor with feral cats, and we took care of that issue. But I haven't had any complaints since then, and I haven't had any cat-related offenses in mayor's court.
Are there any other questions for the law director? Diana, you're on mute.
Not a question, but a comment. The problem with the feral cats last year was people feeding and putting out food for them. If you're talking about just feral cats because I know that sometimes along the expressway where there's that land that's owned by the county or the highway, you find them over in that area. I would say there's a county office that you would call if there's a problem that's not connected to somebody feeding them.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is item B, Clerk of Council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to report, actually, I do not have a report this evening.
Are there any questions for the Clerk of Council? The next item on the agenda is item 9, new business. Ordinance number 07-2021, and this must be read in full. Councilwoman Herbie. Is there a motion? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Doesn't she have to read it first before I make the motion?
Okay. Ordinance number 07-2021 must be read in full.
Ordinance number 07-2021, amending annual appropriation ordinance 04-2021. Whereas ordinance number 27-2020 established the 2021 annual appropriations for the city and was adopted by council on December 7th, 2020. And whereas the anticipated revenue and expenditures are coming in as anticipated for the general fund and other funds of the city. And whereas appropriations must be within available resources per the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas an amended certificate of resources is being requested from the Hamilton County Budget Commission, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the 2021 annual appropriation ordinances 27-2020 and 04-2021 is hereby amended to the amounts listed on Exhibit 1, Section 2, and the Director of Finance Treasurer is hereby authorized to draw warrants on the City Treasury for payments from any of the foregoing appropriations upon receiving proper certification and vouchers, therefore approved by the board or officer authorized by law to approve the same or an ordinance or resolution of council to make expenditures, provided that no warrants shall be drawn or paid for salaries or wages except the persons employed by authority of and in accordance with law or ordinance. Provided further that the appropriations for contingencies can only be expended upon approval of a 2/3 vote of council for items of expense constituting a legal obligation against the city, and for the purposes other than those covered by other specific appropriations herein made. Section 3, be it further ordained that the finance director is hereby authorized to transfer advance amounts included in the appropriation to the appropriate funds as listed in Exhibit 2. Section 4, this appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and take effect on its passage pursuant to the provisions of Section 12.05 of Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park, Ohio.
Is there a motion?
Yes,
Councilwoman Herbie.
I would move adoption of ordinance number 07-2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been motion and second. That do we take a vote on this one?
Discussion.
Yes. Oh,
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, because the things that are actually being changed are in an exhibit that is not read, I will just explain that the major impact of these are one, that there will be an expenditure from the Capital Improvement Fund to coincide with monies coming from a grant to install electric vehicle charging stations at the city building. And there's also a portion of that that will go, not that, but other monies from that fund, which will also go to cover the cost of some office furniture to put in place as a result of the city building remodel. Also, in the Environmental Awareness Fund, there will be monies expended from that to also assist the city in setting up those electric charging stations and also helping to install LED light retrofits in city buildings. In a previous council meeting, we established a law enforcement trust fund for federal monies. And this will help to facilitate that movement of monies from out of the old fund, those federal monies out of that old fund into the new fund where there will be federal monies held. And then there is also transfer from the general fund that will cover some pay down of debt and also account for some funds that we renew, the bond funds that we renew yearly in full. And then new bonds are issued to take their place the following year. So I would urge adoption of this appropriations ordinance.
Is this a roll call, Sally?
yes. Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes,
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
This passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is item B, ordinance number 08-2021. This must be read in full and it's the first reading and will not have a vote tonight.
Ordinance number 08-2021, amending section 30 of the general provisions of the Forest Park Code of Ordinances. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, section 1, that section 30.08 petty cash fund of the general provisions of the Forest Park Code of Ordinance, reading as follows. Section 30.05 petty cash fund. A, the Director of Finance is authorized to set up petty cash funds in the amount of $900. All petty cash shall be held by the Director with direct disbursement of money necessary for change to the Mayor's Court and tax officers. Is hereby amended to read Section 30.05, change drawers and petty cash fund. A, the Director of Finance is authorized to set up cash change drawers not to exceed $1,000. The cash drawers will be held by the directors of each department for the direct disbursement of money necessary to change to the Mayor's Court, Finance Department, Tax Office, Community Development, Building Department, Public Works, Stormwater Utility Management, and Recreation. B, the Director of Finance is authorized to establish a petty cash fund not to exceed $300. This fund will be maintained in the Finance Department for operational expenses incurred that are less than $20 or for costs where a procurement card is not cost efficient. Section 2. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after the earliest date allowed by law.
The next item on the agenda is item C, resolution number 10-2021. It must be read in full.
Resolution number 10-2021. A resolution confirming the appointments to the 2021 Hamilton County Tax Incentive Review Council from the City of Forest Park. Whereas the Hamilton County Tax Incentive Review Council, TIRC, was established by the Hamilton County Commissioners to review the status of enterprise zone and tax increment financing agreements for companies that had received property tax exemptions in return for an expansion of their operations in Hamilton County. And whereas the city of Forest Park has judiciously used both programs to successfully attract and retain businesses in our community. And whereas Hamilton County and the city of Forest Park closely monitor these projects for compliance to guarantee that companies meet their obligations under the terms of these agreements. And whereas the city of Forest Park has been requested by the Hamilton County Office of Economic Development to submit 2 nominees for appointment to the Tax Incentive Review Council. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the Council of the City of Forest Park hereby designates City Councilor Diana Hervey and Economic Development Director Paul Brim to represent the City of Forest Park on the 2021 Hamilton County Tax Incentive Review Council. Section 2. This resolution shall be in full force and take effect from and after the earliest date allowed by law.
Is there any discussion? Councilwoman Herbie?
Let me move the resolution number 10-2021 first. And I so move.
Second.
There's no discussion necessary. I think the motion speaks for itself. I would urge adoption of the resolution.
Okay, Salo, this is a voice,
It's a roll call.
a roll call. Okay.
Clark,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
This passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda, item D, a motion, Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, I would move to receive the general fund summary report as contained in departmental reports.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Moore, you were on mute.
Aye.
This is adopted 6-0. Is there anything else to come before the order? Anything else before the order? Council section is over.
Yeah.
All right. Good night,
All right.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.